the exact pipeline code I have written in this demo. So I just connected it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this extension because it's already installed with, but when I run this for the first time, I need to activate them. And then, so I have this PGFS extension, which allows me to treat different data sources as file systems. For example, this allows me to treat S3 bucket as a file system volume. So what I'm going to do, I'm doing here is I'm pointing it to the public S3 bucket I showed here, and then creating a storage volume out of it. In the pipeline language, volume is something like a foundational building block we speak. So this is, we build things out of, on top of this volume, like knowledge bases, things like that. And then we register a model. So basically, this is the clip model I mentioned earlier. So it's clip local. That means it runs within your Postgres process. So that means your data not going outside to an external model provider, something like OpenAI. And then once I have this model ready, I create this volume knowledge base out of these parameters. So I pass my model name and volume name. So basically, knowledge base is something like a logical concept where we treat it like a specialized database where we store the vector representations of data. So I think in the first episode, we turned PDF files into vector representation, and today we are turning images into vector representations. And once it is done, this is the most important part. Nothing will come out if you don't kick off this bulk embedding. This is where start the vectorization process. So you have to.
I see this and I think of how the ETL process is way simplified. I mean, am I
Exactly.
seeing this right, or what's your thoughts?
100%, yes. So the whole thing, I mean, from here, so what are you doing here is extracting images from this S3 bucket, and then you transform. This is your T. This is where E goes in, and this is T means you transform your modality of your data, or maybe transform the format of your data.
Sure.
You might have this question. So once you kick off this bulk embedding, where it goes to the Postgres cluster you previously created. So there will be a separate table for that automatically created. You don't have to touch it. All right. I think this is the offline embedding generation process. So for reference, you would normally do this in a one-off thing. Maybe you can write or wrap it as an Airflow job or maybe nightly batch job where you do this. Real beauty comes once you do the inferencing. So this is where you do the actual semantic search. So for example, I'm going to run this. So for example, I provide this crash Cybertruck, and I ask the knowledge base to return only 3 best matching results. It's been idle for some time, so that's why it asked this question. Might get results.
Oh.
So this is what you will see. So these are the top 3 results. As you can see, this is the name of the file image and then the distance. Distance is the vector distance. Lowest distance means you have the best match. So I know it's a little hard to get into your mind. So that's why I built this Streamlit front end here.
Come on, let's see it. Let's see it. I want to see this truck crash. Not really, but like the image.
Right.
Let's see it.
Let's do some fun searching. So let's see. So this is where the actual semantic search kicks in. So I just want to do some semantic query. Tesla crashed into a house.
And this is pulling based on the images that you've uploaded
Correct.
to the knowledge
That's right.
base. Okay.
So
It's
basically,
not doing like a RAG where it's going out to internet and pulling more images. Okay.
exactly. It's basic semantic similarity search performed on vector embeddings. And then we can do things like semi-truck crash or something. There we
Oh,
go.
goodness.
So we
Okay.
have few good results. And we can also do a keyword search, something like Cybertruck, and let's see how good the pipeline will give us the result.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Sad images, I know. Um, for your
Yeah, they
reference,
are sad images, but wow, that worked quick.
yeah, the one you see in the left is the most is the best match, and then once you walk across to the right, you will lose your accuracy.
See how I'm just imagining again, we're in this insurance fraud detection scenario, helping these agents comb through images. And we're being pretty direct about car crash, Cybertruck crashed into something, but this can help you bring out other features that are important, like crash with residential damage or
Mm,
crash on the road. That would be, unless you had a robust tagging operation
Yeah,
in place, would never be able to get to with
so good.
keyword search.
Such a good point. Yeah.
it's self-learning, so there's no like, explicit training. So basically, we are using existing pre-trained model here, vision model, and then it has been trained on large corpus of these kind of similar images, and then can it know how to perform this similarity search with the semantic meaning. Let's say blue Volvo.
Yeah, this zero shot learning that you're
Yeah,
talking about is interesting.
because this is just a blue car in semantic meaning, but now it know this is a Volvo because it's the model and the badge. So it has learned and it has been trained on this one. So that's true beauty.